So, good morning, and thank you for having me. It is so wonderful again to be amongst you at the Villages Democratic Club, one of my favorite places to be. Most of you know me, but just in case, I'll give a quick summary. My name is Dana Cottrell. I'm running for Congressional District 11, and I'm running against Daniel Webster. Congressional District 11 does include all of Sumter, all of Hernando, all of Citrus, southern portion of Marion, and the northwestern portion of Lake County. For your information, it does include all of the villages. I am from Hernando County. I've lived in Hernando County since 1988. I'm a teacher by trade, and I've been a teacher for 28 years. I did run in 2018, and we saw a statistical improvement of 2 percentage points, which is amazing in our area over the past 2 congressional elections. And this year, we plan to see a huge increase of plus 15 and win. So I'm daring to run again in 2020. And the reason I'm running is because I want positive change for our community, for our lives, and for those that we love. Each day we are inundated with news stories, and each day the news seems to get worse. We have problems facing our neighbors from systemic racism, the wildfires in the western states, the rising climate crisis, every day a new scandal from the Trump administration, and a president with no regard to the lives and service of our military and veterans, and the impacts of COVID-19. So I'm running against Daniel Webster. I'd like to talk about 2 of the most recent issues because many of you have heard me speak and you know where I stand on the issues. But 2 issues that have come up recently are COVID-19 and what is happening with our payroll tax. So let's start with COVID. Daniel Webster agrees with Donald Trump and the Trump administration that they deserve an A+ rating on the handling of COVID-19. As Webster recently said, and I quote, "The administration took the crisis seriously and acted swiftly with unprecedented action. We all know this to be untrue, as the president has told Bob Woodward. The president has lied to the American people and is responsible for 190,000 plus American lives. The president claims he did not want to cause panic. We know that this is also a lie because causing panic and inciting violence is what the president does best. As Kellyanne Conway admitted to Fox News, the president has no interest in solving the current problems facing our nation. The Trump administration believes that the more chaos, anarchy, vandalism, and violence in our streets, the better his election chances." Daniel Webster also knew how bad COVID was. We all knew. All we had to do was listen to the science. And yet Daniel Webster stands behind the president and continues to support the president and his lies to the American people. We all know the challenges COVID has placed on you and your families. You're unable to see your children and your grandchildren. We are unable to work in safe environments. We're afraid to send our children back to school. And even in my own family, we have not seen my husband since last December, as the Japanese government has shut down travel between our nation and their nation. And still the administration takes no action and sets no national policy. This is all fine with Daniel Webster. I do not believe that. I believe that we need to follow what Joe Biden has laid out as a national plan for COVID-19 to increase testing, to make sure that first responders have all necessary materials needed to safely open our schools when they are ready, and if necessary, to once again lock down the country as needed so that we can shut down this virus at once, all at once across our nation with a national policy and move on safely. We are coming into a flu season, and now doctors are talking about what will happen to Americans with the flu and COVID. And it is not looking good. We need a new policy. We need a fresh administration. We need Daniel Webster and the Trump administration out of office. Daniel Webster states that because he is a senior, he understands the issues and challenges they face. Daniel Webster has been a politician for 40 years. He has no idea what it means to live paycheck to paycheck. Has he ever visited Section 8 housing for seniors? Does he understand what it means to a senior citizen who does not see a raise in Social Security? The Brookings Institute found that the number of people living below the poverty line in Republican districts climbed by 49%, between 2000 and 2014 due to Republican policies. As a result, Republican districts accounted for 60% of the increase in the nation's poor population during that time. Yet Daniel Webster seeks to cut all social programs, including housing assistance, food assistance, and access to affordable health care covering pre-existing conditions. Just check his voting record. It shows that. As for seniors, Donald Trump has stated if reelected, he will permanently cut the payroll tax, which funds Social Security benefits. According to the chief actuary of the Social Security Administration, Stephen Grass, if this were to go into effect as of January 1st, 2021, the trust fund providing monthly stipends for Americans with disabilities would be emptied, first around the middle of 2021, and the fund that supports Social Security payments would run dry after the middle of 2023. As a sycophant, all of that is Donald Trump. We would expect Daniel Webster to fall in line behind the elimination of the payroll tax. And maybe what is worst of all is, in total disregard and indifference to the American people, Donald Trump and the Republican Party have put forth no 2020 party platform. You have no idea what they stand for. Basically, if you are voting Republican, if you vote for Daniel Webster, you are voting for the whim of Donald Trump and the Trump administration. And to me, that is a very scary thought indeed. On the other hand, I have spent 28 years as a school teacher. I know what it is like to struggle. I've felt the effects of rising medical and prescription costs, and yet I know my family and I are blessed with all that we have. As a teacher, I have witnessed every single day the plight of children in my classrooms coming from so much less, from families who are in poverty. I talk to families that are unemployed and being evicted from their homes. I want to be a public servant, to continue policies that allow Americans to thrive and to make necessary and proper change so that every American has the opportunity to prosper. I will fight not only to keep Social Security and Medicare, but I will seek to expand Medicare as a public option, allowing for additional funding to the program. The end goal is an inclusive Medicare program with zero deductibles for office visits or prescriptions and no need to carry a secondary. Although time constraints limit us to an in-depth discussion on all the issues, I want you to know I am live every Sunday night at 7 p.m. via Zoom, which is broadcast to Facebook. And if you've missed these events, you can catch them on my Facebook page simply looking under the Videos tab. Simply put, if you support consumer protections, funding education, environmental protection, financial sector regulation, gun safety, humane immigration policies, labor rights and fair wages, countering Russian election interference, a robust safety net, including safeguarding Social Security and Medicare, women's reproductive rights, and the rights of the LGBTQ+ community, you should be voting for me, Dana Cottrell, on November 3rd. And don't just take my word for it. Research Daniel Webster's voting record. The truth speaks for itself. I'd like to quickly update the campaign and let you know where we are at. We work across the 5 counties, as I mentioned earlier. We have sent out almost 6,000 handwritten postcards. We have just sent out 10,000 mailers. We are in the production for 400 TV commercials starting airing as of September 15th. We have still ads running across 47 locations, and they are in Sumter County. We do run them at the diner, so you may have seen them there. We are doing no-not lip drops, and we are texting constituents. We have an active social media campaign which encompasses Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We do virtual town halls, and we have the Sunday night live chats. Of course, we have the yard signs. And as we get closer to the election, what we're going to be doing with our literature is windshield wiper drops. That's the new thing. We are going to mass canvas and go out to the parking lots and drop literature under windshield wipers. We feel that that's a way to effectively reach out and get to people. And then we are planning to drive folks to the polls. Yes, we do plan to do door knocking during early voting and reaching out to folks who don't typically vote and driving them to the poll immediately right then and there if they are home. We work in conjunction with the DECs, and I thank you each and every day because you all are amazing. And that is putting out the slate cards to Democrats. Every county is putting out over 10,000 plus slate cards to Democratic voters. We do the phone banking. Back to the mailers. Just for a second, I know I heard that everybody loved the mailer we put out, and maybe they can forward it to you if you have not seen it. I just want to let you know that thank you for your donations. We are still fundraising because every dollar counts. If you donate $1, every dollar donated pays for 2 mailers. We are targeting NPAs and independents because if we add the numbers of the NPAs and the independents plus the Democratic voters all across District 11, we do outnumber the Republicans. And I cannot begin to tell each and every one of you how proud I am to be a Democrat and to stand with each and every one of you every day. And just a couple of highlights from the villages. You know, the famous Jerry Meyer. I've seen his sensational Biden commercial. Mary Francis and her crew who organizes in sine waves each and every week. To our texting guru, Sandy Ainsworth, who is sending 1 million texts with Bob. And to all of you who I have not named because there are just hundreds of you, writing postcards, filling bags, signing up for the lit drops, phone banking, working the offices and behind the scenes. Thank you. And to the volunteers working directly with the campaign who have taken leadership roles. We have Tony Hackenberg and Wayne Nami, Jean Bloomquist, Lou Ann Cooter, all from your area. We're all working to help Flip It Blue, along with the teams that help them. And I just want to shout out to Dee Melvin, who I know is out there today, a fellow candidate and so much more, a dear friend. She's taking a new journey with me. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for having me today. I appreciate the time you have allotted me during the meeting. If Heather says it's okay and Chris, I will take any questions. Other than that, let's rock that vote on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. It's really good to see you again.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
Shout out to Dee Melvin. I just want to make sure everyone saw. She's hiding in the corner of my office. So she's here.